Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What You Reading. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Delaze. Welcome back, guys. So this week we are reviewing a story that is called Hook, and it is by Emily McIntire. It can be found on Audible. You can probably get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it pretty much anywhere you can find a book. You could probably get it there. So let's get into it.
Okay, so in the beginning of this story, it is really went to Hook at the beginning of the story, and it was really just talking about how he killed his uncle. Didn't really tell us why he killed his uncle, just that he killed his uncle.
Right.
And then it goes to talking about Wendy and how Wendy was in college and she was with a group of friends and she wanted to hang out with these friends. These friends wanted her to go to this club, but Wendy really was not old enough.
Right.
So, so she wasn't old enough, and then she ends up like at first she didn't want to go to the club. Then she was like, all right. After they kind of talked her into it,
They peer pressured her.
Pretty much what happened. So she goes in this club and she walks up to the front, and the guy was at the front. He was like, girl, you are not 21.
Also, this is not you in this picture. You tried it because they gave her a fake ID.
Thank you. This definitely is not you. You're not getting in. And they kept like trying to talk him, like I guess her friends, which are really not her friends, but was her friends. It's weird.
Right.
Was like, come on, let her in, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I'm not letting you in. Well, then Hook came up, and Hook was just like, let her in. And he ended up letting her on in. So he just kind of zoned in on her, really, like as they were in the club. So they ended up having a really good time. She was drinking, even though she wasn't of age.
Who amongst us have not?
Right. Because, baby, I remember the Mad Dog 2020 days.
Girl. And the original Four Locos?
Listen, girl. I very much remember that. However, I was with that age when the Four Loco thing was going on.
I was too. But I did used to get them little screwdrivers from, there's like a little drive-through liquor store. And they had a little bottle screwdriver right next to the Mad Dog.
Listen, let me tell you something. The first time I ever seen a drive-through liquor store is when I was in Florida, Tallahassee.
Really?
Yeah, I went there for a friend's graduation. And she was like, let's go to the drive-through liquor store. I'm looking at the time like, girl, it's 7 o'clock. The liquor stores are closed. She was like, not here.
That is so funny.
That's when I realized that all liquor stores are not the same in every state.
No, they're not.
And we drove right through that damn liquor store. That shit fucked me up because I was like,
girl,
never see this people.
Girl, the first one that I saw was in Ohio, and I was so blown away that they had things like this, that they existed. I was so beside myself. And then you go in and there's like, not only is it the alcohol that you need, but there's snacks and all types of stuff all on the other side.
They be running out,
ice cream. Yeah.
What you need?
They give you anything you need. Be like, let me get 2 packs of this. Let me get 2 packs of that. Like,
yeah,
that mess was funny.
I never seen that.
Me either.
It's not a thing here.
I found one out here, which I didn't even know we had until recently. Well, I say recently, within the last couple of years, I found one out here and I was like, this has been here the whole time?
Right, and you've been there for a good minute.
Yeah, I have been here for a good minute. Yeah, I have been here. Girl, a mess. Anyway,
sorry, going back to the story. So anyway, they just kind of have a good night. Hook paid attention to her. And then I think she went to the bathroom with her friend, and he bumped into her. He was like trying to talk to her, and she was like, I'm not trying to talk to you. Go on by your business. Right. And he was like, kind of caught off guard because I guess because of who he was, that women flocked to him all the time. And
Right.
she was
Which
just
she wasn't impressed.
she was
But
not pressed for him at all.
her homegirl, which was, I think she had met her for the first time, it seemed like. But that's what it seemed like. I forgot what her name was, but she was giving her a real hard time about the fact that she was like, they thought of her like as a prude or whatever like that. Maria was her name. Maria had the biggest crush on Hook. She loved that man down some way. And
Right.
she ain't never been with him or nothing like that. He really ain't paid her the time of day. But she knew that was going to be her man at some point. And
Right.
so I just wanted to mention that because Homegirl was pressed about him. And Wendy was like, girl, anyway.
Wow. Really, because they was at the bar and he walked up to the bar and was like, give them everything what they want. And she was like, he's coming for me. Let me get myself together because he's coming to talk to me. Only me. He walked right past her, honey.
Walked right past her.
Stay her.
Girl, you know what that reminded me of?
Mm-hmm. What?
When Amarantha was waiting on the sunlight. That's what
That's so funny.
Because she just knew he was coming for her. She just knew. She was like, here come my man. And he was like, I don't know who you are, but I'm looking at her.
He like, get out the way.
Yeah, anyway.
Right. And she was mad because he came looking at her. He wanted her. Right. And she was like,
then she gonna say after he leave talking about something. I mean, he just wants you as one of his playthings. He would never take you seriously. He would choose you. Yeah, he would never choose you over anybody he could want. He just gonna play with you. She was like, girl, hater. Yeah. So after he did this, now let me tell you something. I know what you're gonna say. So listen, after he did that, right? He went back to sit in his chair. Now his chair was at the back of this damn club, and he just sat there like a king. Who that remind you of? I want to see if you thinking the same as me, because we always be putting these same characters that be in every story. What was that one? I think it was a Hobie. Was it a Hobie story that we watched where he was? It was some story we read where he was like a big kingpin and somebody was sitting in that chair, but I don't know which one it was. What did you think of?
That ain't what I'm thinking about, baby.
What you thinking of?
When I thought about this scene of him sitting in this chair in the club, you know I went back to True Blood.
True Blood.
Don't you remember Eric Northman?
Girl, Eric Northman. Hell yeah!
Fantasia.
Yes.
Yes, I wrote that down. Who does this remind you of?
Yeah, that is true. It do. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
I thought that was so funny.
That is a good one.
So, time kind of went on and they got ready to go home and they just went and he was asking like, who is that girl? What's her name? And then somebody told her that it was Wendy or whatever, but he kind of put two and two together and was like, oh, this Wendy, oh, her daddy is my enemy. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get close to her. And so, but he was also looking at her like, I want to get close to her, but I want to fuck her too. Right.
And that was his plan. Yeah, he was like, well, if I can get to her in that way, then I'm going to really make her dad mad. And then, I'm going to hurt her feelings and da-da-da-da-da. And so that's what he sets out to do.
Mm. So anyway, so she ended up going home or whatever. And so it go to the next kind of day. And she's in there with her brother. Her brother's doing his homework or whatever. And they got to kind of talking about her dad. Because her dad owns what's the airline called? Never Air.
Something like that. Never Ever or Never
Air.
Never. Something like that. It was a reference to Neverland. Yeah.
Yes, Never Air. Mm-hmm. So her daddy owns Never Air, which is a whole line. It's like America. I mean, like Southwest,
yeah. Like mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he don't ever really come home.
Right.
Wendy is pretty much with her brother all the time. her brother is being homeschooled now because while he was in school, he got picked on all the time. Don't ask me why, because we don't know. They don't really tell us.
Right.
But he's being homeschooled or whatever. Um, and so pretty much, her brother know that the daddy don't really talk to him, really don't care for him. He don't know why. They just know he be acting like that. So Wendy, get her brother together. She ended up going to work. We do know that she worked at a coffee shop. And she's working this day. And as she's working, Hook comes in. And when Hook comes in, it's another man there. So she like engaged in talking to Hook. And then this other man came in. He had a whole motherfucking attitude, okay? And he was like, "Excuse me, you don't see me standing here? I've been standing here for 5 minutes. I want a coffee." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So now she like, "Oh, let me hurry up and make his coffee," and all this stuff was going on around her. And then he was just being real rude. And then Hook was like whispering in his ear, "Look, man, you better chill out. You don't know what I could do to you or whatever." And so the man was like, "Man, go ahead.
Right, go on somewhere.
I ain't trying to hear that." And then Hood said something else to him, and it scared him the fuck up for real. And he dipped up out of there. And when he ran out of there, the twins went behind him. It's always a set of twins.
Always a set of twins.
Now,
Always a set of twins.
you of?
Well, I mean, that reminded me of the other story too, though.
I mean, I wrote down Bash and Cass.
Yeah, the other story, the Never King series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. The Never King. It was the other Peter Pan. Yeah. Always the twins. Brothers. Yeah.
Always two brothers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the two boys went behind him, so we already know he was over for him. It was that easy.
He had a good run. Yeah.
Right. So, what else happened after that? You go ahead.
So he ends up, which I just realized that I kind of mixed up some parts because he had seen her, but he didn't approach her that night. But then he saw her and found out where she worked and came to the coffee shop to ask her to ask to take her out. And she was like, "Well, I don't even know you like that," or whatever. And he was like, "My name is James." Yeah, but
she seen him that night at the bathroom.
Oh, that's right. She's seen him in the bathroom. That's right.
She was not giving him the time.
So she kept walking or whatever. But then, so he comes and he's like, he wants to take her out. He really like throws out the charm. And homegirl's like, I mean, okay, we'll see what this is like. Well, just why not?
Answer her name.
Yeah, answer her name.
She like, "You figured out where I work at, but you can't figure out my name."
Hello, you put all the effort in and missed the most important part.
Right.
But she's like, "Well, who are you?" And he like, "I'm James." And she's like, "Bet. Hey, James, I'm Wendy." He like, "Bet." So they arranged this whole thing to go out. Okay. So her homegirls and stuff like that, like, "Hey, we gonna go out again." I think this happens. So they go out again. And she's again, Maria's talking about this Hook guy. Well, he ends up approaching them and he's all in her face. And she like, "Dang, like this is crazy." And she like, "This is the Hook guy? I only know him as James." So now she's realizing like, "Oh, this is crazy. Like only, certain people know him by his actual name and blah, 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 blah. Is this the time where he tells her to not leave without him or without saying bye or something like that? Is that this time or is that after?
I'm not sure, but I do remember that.
Yeah, I just don't remember when it happened. But anyway, at some point he's like, "Don't leave without like saying bye or don't leave yet or whatever." So she like actually listens because his security, as she's leaving with her homegirls, they're like, "Hey girl," I think that might be later. But they're like, "Hey girl, Hook said this and this." And so she's like, "Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and stay here." So she ends up waiting on this man and she ends up leaving with him. But I think that might be later on.
No, you're right.
Am I right?
Board. She stayed there and she ended up meeting Rue, remember?
That's right. She met Rue. Okay. That's right. And Moira?
Yeah, that hoe.
Girl, first of all, I know we gonna get there. But girl.
That hoe.
Girl, I was like, Moira. There's a lot of times that I was like, what? I didn't actually say. Anyway.
Yeah.
So she meets Rue, all that. They're talking for a hot second. Then she like goes with Hook. I think she ends up leaving with him that night, but she's a virgin.
I think so because he ended up wanting to have that. He wanted to have that meeting with Peter,
Right. And
and
Rue,
Rue was like, "No, boo, no,
well,
because you too much."
so Rue had already set it up, and Hook wanted to come along, and Rue was like, he told him, no, you too much. And so he was kind of like, well, I mean, like, I'll be on my best behavior or whatever. Like, I really want to go to meet this man, whatever, whatever. So backstory, Hook got beef with Peter because Peter pretty much ended up being the reason why most of his family was killed.
Hmm.
And so he's had beef with Peter from a child and has always set out to plot his vengeance on Peter. And so
Right.
now that he knows that this is his daughter, he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to do whatever is in my power to make sure that this man suffers.
Hmm.
But then there was like the whole uncle thing, which I mean, we'll get to that at some point. That was even crazy. Anyway,
Yeah,
go
because
ahead.
you can go ahead. We can go ahead with that backstory. So that backstory
Okay.
with the uncle is that when his parents died, he moved in with his uncle. His uncle was Croc, the crocodile,
Right.
or whatever.
And
He
homie
always
was
said that,
abusive
yes, to the 10th power.
to
Okay.
the 10th power. Homeboy was nuts.
Yes, yes.
Bad
He was abusing him in every way in the world. Okay.
everywhere.
So when he got to know Ruth, he was running behind Rue, trying to figure out who he was, trying to see what he was doing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, as a young kid, he always was around Rue. And then Rue kind of was like, listen, quit beating on that boy. He told his uncle, quit beating on that boy, quit doing this to that boy or whatever. So he stopped the like sexual abuse, but he kept on beating him.
Because he wanted to make sure he didn't have no feelings or emotions so that he could take over in the business and not have nothing used against him.
Mm,
That's what it
mm,
sounded like to me.
mm.
So he was falling behind, and Rue ends up pretty much taking him on so that he can kind of be with him. At some point, he gets to be at an age where he's like, you know what, I'm not doing this shit anymore, and he plots to kill his uncle because his uncle has been so abusive. So at some
Mhm.
point, he ends up killing his uncle, and then Rue ends up taking him in all like forever, and
And
he's
raising
super
him.
grateful, yeah, and raises him to teaches him the ways of everything that's going on. But Rue's also in this business that is also very dangerous and all of that. So he's teaching him these things, trying to make sure that he's prepared and wants to make sure he's safe. And he noticed that he was going to be like one of his right hand men. And so
Mhm.
they have that bond, and then they kind of like move forward from that. So in a sense, you could say that Hook looked at Rue like his father, in a
Right.
sense.
Yeah. He showed him all the way
He showed him the ways
in the
of crime.
business. Yeah.
And they got to
Yeah.
be like the biggest. They had the cops paid off. They had hospitals and doctors paid off. They
Yep.
had people in all types of places paid off. So if
Like
they
that
thought,
last story you was reading.
yeah, yeah, girl, oh my God, yeah, they had everybody. Anyway, they
Everybody
had
paid off.
everybody paid off. There was nothing that could happen in that city they didn't know about.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Yes.
So, and kind of the same thing in this situation where there was nothing that happened in the city that they didn't know about until stuff started happening in the city and they didn't understand what was going on. So there was problems because there was issues with their shipments and some things either not coming in, some things completely missing. Like there was issues with their supply and they couldn't understand what was going on. Now you also
Hmm.
have Peter and his shit, and they're like, well, where the fuck did this man come from? Also, we need to talk to him because we need to see what's going on if he has anything to do with we got going on over here.
Well, they wanted to do business with Peter because Peter was international airline and they can get their
Oh,
products,
that's right.
which
That's
was
right.
Pixie Dust. Pixie Dust now
Right. Right.
was their product, and they thought, okay, well, let's get well, Rue did not know the beef that Hook had with Peter.
Right.
So so Rue ended up telling him, okay, I'm gonna let you go to this meeting. Um so anyway, he ended up actually being able to go to this meeting. And Peter was looking at him like, who are you? Like, you look familiar, but I don't know you. But he didn't tell him who he was.
Right.
So Peter was like negotiating back and forth with them, and he was like, "Oh, I want 50%." And they were like, "No, 40." And then they came back with 10% or whatever. And Peter was like, "Look, you need me, I don't need y'all." So when y'all figure out what y'all doing, let me know.
Right.
So he ended up leaving, and when he left, he actually went to his house that he ain't never there. So he sees Wendy. He talking to Wendy. He ended up okay because Wendy talked to him before on the phone,
Right.
and he
Right.
was like, "I'm coming down. I'm coming to see y'all." Blah 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 blah.
Right.
And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, he getting ready to go to this boarding school." And she
Right.
was like, "Well, if he going to boarding school, you need to tell him that. I'm not going to be the one to tell him that." Or
Yep.
whatever. So when he came home, he was like, "I promise I'm gonna tell him. I promise I'm gonna tell him." And so Whitney was like fussing at him for not being there. You ain't never there for us. Where you been? Like or whatever. And
Because
so go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say sorry. Then the reason for that was because before her mom had passed or whatever, which that was the whole thing. But before her mom had passed, he was very present as a father. That was like she
Right.
was all, wherever he was, she was. He called her his little shadow, so she was always
Mm-hmm.
around him, and he was always present as a father. But after that happened, he became very distant, and he threw himself into his work, and he neglected his kids altogether. And he really ain't fuck
Mm-hmm.
with John like that at all.
Not at all.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So he went to see his kids with that woman that he was with. What was her name?
Um, Tina Bell. And it reminded
T-
me of Tinkerbell, and I was like, "Is Tina Bell like who Tinkerbell would be?" I assumed.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he ended up going back home, talking to Wendy. Wendy fussing him out, like, why you ain't never there? He's like still promising I'm gonna start being here more, but not really at all.
Yeah.
She was like, well, you need to make sure you tell John that you sent him the boys. I am not gonna tell him. Bitch, why that man left without telling him anyway?
First thing in the morning. First thing
He
in the
left
morning,
all the responsibility to her.
as he typically did.
I mean, didn't even try to get the man there. He was just
Nope.
like, he going to boarding school, and this is the time he need to be there. Bitch, make sure you get
Best of luck.
there.
I got
Right.
food.
And she couldn't understand why you treat him so much differently than
Mm-hmm.
me. I can't understand. We both your kids.
Right. Right.
But go ahead, girl.
So the next day comes, he gone. She feeling some type of way because yes. James hits her up and is like wants to hang out or whatever. But
Uh-huh.
this is, I know they've already had their date by this point. They've kind of hung out multiple times. Is it okay if I jump to that where they start hanging out and she's going to take him to school?
Uh-huh.
Is
Oh,
that
can
okay?
I go ahead and mention this part one
Sure, sure,
time
sure.
before you do that?
Yeah.
So while they were on a date, they end up going to a bakery
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes. Go ahead.
because Hill had to collect his coins.
Yes, he
Right?
did.
He went to that bakery and that man was like, listen, I already paid somebody else. I'm not paying you too. And they're
Yep.
like, who you pay? Who the hell you pay? Because this my hood. So who you paying? And it ended up being, wasn't it Tina Bell? That his
Mm-hmm.
name?
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Which was Peter's like right. I don't want to say right hand man, but like I don't know what she was. I don't know if that was his boo,
I
if she was
really
his
don't
business
know, like,
partner.
that part. I think
It-
that's kind of what it was.
Was it? It was just such a weird.
I don't know when Tina Bell, when he was with,
Yeah.
that Peter was with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I didn't
I
understand
think
their
she
dynamic.
was kind of doing a lot of the dirty work, but in her own way. Like I don't think that Peter knew that she was doing the stuff that she was doing as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say because I got the vibe that they were like dealing with each other, but they weren't, and like he knew stuff, but he didn't. Like she was kind of just
Mm-hmm.
doing her own thing. Um.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was I gonna say? Okay, so all of that has happened. He finds out that somebody else has been, and because the guy that when he went to go collect his money, he said, You're not gonna sit here and try to scam me too," almost not realizing that this is the person that he need to be afraid of. So he
Yeah.
gets all that information. Time kind of goes on. He's kicking it with um, Wendy, or he wants to see Wendy, but Wendy's like, "Hey, I actually need to take my brother to his school, his new school or whatever." And so he's like, "Oh, I'll take you." Then he felt stupid because he was like, "Why did I even say that? I don't got time for this," because he was supposed to meet up with Rue to do some other
Right.
stuff. So he like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm pretty sure I could do it. I'm not gonna let this girl down. I just want to see. I want to keep seeing her happy, even though I'm gonna use her against
Mm-hmm.
her dad. But I don't know why I'm getting these feelings for her.
I don't know why I'm feeling this way.
I don't understand. She just makes my heart flutter, but I want to torment her. But I just really can't see her sad. Like, anyway, so he's saying all that. So he decided that he gonna take them down to the school. So they go to the school, they get him moved in. Him and I guess John exchange numbers at some point because he constantly checking on the young man. And then he drives her back, but he bounces because he's like, I need to go. He gets to the area that Rue was meeting up with supposedly meeting up with Peter because he was like, don't go by yourself, have somebody go with you. They had this whole conversation before he even left. And he was like, I got it. It'll be fine. No big deal. He didn't have anybody go with him and he ended up
He was
dying.
supposed to take the twins.
He was supposed to take I don't either. He probably didn't say nothing to nobody and just dipped out because he didn't want to have nobody to, be there. So he ended up getting killed. So Rue killed. He's Hook is walking up and seeing all of the scene of like stuff that happens. Supplies are missing.
To a tree with all his damn goods.
Yeah, all the stuff was out. He was himself was like messed up real bad. It was a bad situation. And he was so immediately pissed. And so he left, obviously very hurt and upset about the whole situation.
But in his head, he thinks that Wendy had something to do with it because of her dad.
Because of her dad, right. Wait, was that the time he thought it was her?
Yeah, after Rue died, he started thinking that she had something to do with it.
Okay, so a lot has happened since then between Hook and Wendy, where they were actually starting to kind of catch feelings for one another by this point.
But he already had knew the whole time that he was like gonna take her out. He didn't want, like, he knew he was gonna kill her.
Right.
But like you said, he was like, I don't know why I'm catching these feelings. So when that happened with Rue, he was like, bitch, I'm about to
you got me messed up. Yeah.
I don't know why I was feeling that way, but I need to get this out of my brain because I'm gonna get her.
But it was weird because he was torn because he wanted to cause her so much pain and so much stress, but he also had feelings for her and he was actually concerned. So what he ends up doing is he ends up snatching her up at some point and she's like, what are you doing? He starts treating her real bad or whatever. And he's like, let me just call the school and tell them, something about John or whatever. And so she's like, why would you do that? And so he calls and he's like, hey, I was just checking on you, blah, blah, blah. And like, no big deal. So she ends up leaving with him or something. She ends up getting to be with him, but he like ties her up and has her in like a cellar or basement.
Is that she went back to that bar because he told her to come to the bar. She went to the bar. That's when she seen Moira at the bar. And she's like, where Peter at? I mean, what Hook at or whatever. And Maya was like, he ain't here. I just had him, And she was just lying. She was like, you might as well go ahead, buy your business because he don't want you. Go ahead. I just had him a while ago. And Wendy now has been since then caught feelings for him.
Yeah, they both caught feelings for each other.
So what happened was, that's when he was like, he came out and he was like, Myra, go ahead. We're telling damn lies. Just that night. Or whatever. So that's when they end up going back. Who told her to go to the house?
Okay, yes.
Meet her at the house. So she met him at the house. He went, stuck something in her neck. She passed out. Walked back up. She was tied up. And now he like a whole nother person to her because why you tying me up? And he ended up telling her the truth of who he is, what he know about her dad, everything. And he swears she know all this shit about her daddy. She don't know a damn thing, but he thinks she know everything.
And he like, quit playing dumb. I know you in on this, da 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 da. And she like, I'm not even sure what this you're talking about.
Right. He was like, your daddy called you his shadow. You definitely know what's going on.
Right. And she's like, okay. The thing that made me mad about this section is like neither one of them asked any questions. She was just going along with it. He was just going along with it. I was like, why don't y'all just ask? Like, why don't you be clear about what you was looking for? Because
sometimes it's easy just to not ask questions.
I mean, yes. But yeah, she didn't ask no questions.
Right.
So
like what she really do is she wake up and Smee is trying to feed her.
Right, because they got her like tied up. She lay on the floor. She ain't got like she's chained up. Like he's bringing her food because she ain't got access to her hands and nothing like that because they don't trust to let her go because he thinks that she's in on all this mess.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a point where she's like, I'm not even sure why you're doing this to me right now, but like, all right. So he's like, hey girl, we got this event that we need to go to. I think it was like a benefit ball or it was something
Like
like
a
that.
banquet or
A
something.
banquet, yeah. So he's like, I got an outfit for you, girl. You gonna wear this. I'm also gonna put this necklace on you. Do not remove this necklace at any point. I'm just letting you know now it's gonna be a problem. And
And
she like,
tell her
all
a
right.
good bitch need a collar.
Need a collar. I was like, that is low key a bar. Low key. I was like,
That
damn, a
bitch
good
need a
bitch do
collar.
need a collar.
Yeah.
Like but yeah. So he's like, we're gonna go to this benefit or whatever, and it's gonna be a thing. And she's like, I mean, like, okay, where am I going? Like, I would go anywhere with you anyway. Like, I don't know why you're doing all this, but all right. So they get to this
Yeah.
thing. She's got an attitude. He's like, on alert, but he's also feeling some type of way. He has still very much mixed feelings about this whole situation. And so they get to this benefit, and lo and behold, I mean, she's noticing that they're very important people around. He's introducing himself, and she's like, wow, he actually knows all of these people, really high up important people. Lo and behold, her daddy in there. Her daddy in there with
Mm-hmm.
Tina Bell. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, what you doing here? And he's like, girl, what you doing here? So she's like, well, I'm here with him. And then Tina always got something slick to say.
Mm-hmm.
And Hook, like, oh, you see my date, da 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 da. Then he started talking mess about her and all this other stuff to her daddy. Whole time, her and her dad they're at odds, and they start going off on each other on the low, but they're in front of everybody. So they're like, hey, maybe we don't do this right here. Maybe we step
She played
aside.
her part though.
She did. So she was like, okay, say less. So she go and talk to her daddy. They going off on each other. Hook looking from the a little bit of a distance and noticing her body language and notices more stuff. And he's like, for her to be in on this, she really seemed like she got a little bit of an attitude. Like she don't seem like
Right.
she's happy with him at all. And he's like, but she was in on this. So this is just really good acting. And so she come back or whatever. She's visibly upset. And again, homie just talks the most mess, but he's also like trying to comfort her
Yeah.
in
But
a
she was
weird way.
asking her daddy, like, did you not know I was gone?
Had
I
no
was
idea.
missing
Homegirl
for
been
a day?
missing. Were you
He
gonna
was like,
check on me?
oh, I thought you was just, I knew you was missing, but I thought you was rebelling like a child. And that really pissed her off because she a grown ass woman. She like, I am not a child.
She's like, I've been doing all of this stuff, taking care of this house, and you left me in charge of shit that I didn't want to be in charge of. And you gonna sit here and just be thinking I'm a rebellion, and you ain't never been nowhere to be found?
Right.
Girl, a mess. So homegirl felt some type of way about that whole situation, and she's like, well, I'm with this man. So now she like cuddling up to him, and he mentions Rue. Peter ends up mentioning Rue, and Hook visibly gets upset, like visibly upset. And so she plays her role, like you said, and makes sure that he's okay because again, they're in front of all of these really important people. Okay, go ahead, girl.
So the night kind of ends, and I don't know if you get a call or something.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think he gets a call because he takes her home and he
I can't
goes
remember.
somewhere
So
else.
he get a call or whatever. He end up going to the Jolly Roger. Okay, the Jolly Roger is the club, not the boat.
Not the boat. That's right.
Because
That's
he
right.
lives
That's right.
on a yacht.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
So
forgot what the name of that was though. Tiger Lily?
I don't know.
I think it was Tiger Lily. I don't know. But go ahead.
And he ended up going to the JR, and bitch, the JR was burnt to the damn ground.
Burn to the ground.
And he instantly knew Peter did that shit. I know Peter did this shit. And that's when Wendy was like, my daddy is a different type of man that I did not know who he was. Like I never knew who he was like this. So now, bitch, I'm on your side for real.
And she felt some type of way because she crying to him, her captor, and being like, he treated me like this. We haven't had a good relationship in so long because of this. Da 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 da. Like I don't even talk to him like that no more. All this other stuff. And Hook's like, oh shit, I didn't even know like you and your daddy wasn't cool like that. And then he comforting her.
Yeah.
Wow, an hour or two ago he was trying to kill her. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good, girl. I'm trying to think what happened there. Oh, so at the end of the night, they kind of just got close. He kind of just knew that she was not on his side or whatever. And then, so they just went to bed after that. They went to sleep. And when they woke up, he was hearing some ticking. He was like, what the fuck is that sound? He didn't like that ticking sound because of his uncle. Huh. So he went out, he was like, Smee, what is that? Okay, I don't know if y'all know, but I don't know if we even mentioned Smee is like a person that lives on his boat.
Yeah.
That from what he thought, he was a homeless man that he was helping. And so Smee helped him take care of his yacht.
Yeah.
So, he got up and he was like, Smee, what is that sound? What am I hearing? What's that? It's driving me crazy. And he was like, oh, I got this new watch, blah, blah, blah. He took that watch and smashed it to pieces. It was like, don't ever bring that shit on here no more. I don't want to hear that shit no more. And that was the end of that. Oh, and so the next morning, he ended up leaving, going to meet Myra I don't know where he was meeting Myra. I think they had another club.
Yeah, they had another location. I just don't remember where it was.
I think this club is where the Jolly Watchers is where Hook took care of. This other club is where Rue took care of.
Yeah.
But now he got to take care of this other club too, because of course Rue ain't here.
Right.
So they go to this other club. They call Myra in, like, Myra, what the fuck happened? She acting like, I don't know. She act like she know what happened. So he got frustrated with her. He was like, bitch, you stay here and you don't say shit. You don't say nothing. Just stay here because you know something. So what else happened?
And he left one of his men with her and was like, once I get all the answers, you can go ahead and kill her.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot which guy it was, though. It was somebody else, but I forgot who it was.
So then the twins came in, and the twins was like, okay, it's handled, boss, we handle it. The twins then went, and they just set a damn line of airplanes just on fire as a retaliation. So
the twins was silent but deadly. They just moved and did stuff.
They ain't say
just
shit.
Happened. Not a word.
They done what needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, he told Myra, go on. Just go, Myra.
Yeah, so they were trying to figure out, because now they're noticing like some of their stuff is getting, like, they're like, who burned down our stuff? Like, stuff is happening. And so they're already like, this is Peter's doing or whatever. So they go after Peter's men, but they're finding out that they start doing like interviews with people that were involved, only to find out that it doesn't have anything to do with Peter. Kind of. It's more so this person that they hear, I forgot what the name was.
Tina Bell and Croc.
No. There was a name that everybody kept saying because they all had these tattoos, but I can't remember what the Croc. So, but Croc is dead. That was his uncle.
But they kept hearing Croc.
Oh, they kept hearing Croc. That's
like,
right.
What? I know my uncle did because I killed him. So what is this name Croc? Is he still alive? What happened?
That's right. So he was going around and talking to these people, and they had these tattoos, and they were like, where the hell these tattoos come from? So they sent some people out to go talk to them, and they finally find somebody. They talk to him, and right before he's about to say who it is, he gets shot by one of the other men. And I was like, he did that on purpose because he was about to give up Moira's name because Moira was involved in all the mess.
Listen,
at a low level, but involved.
Right. But when he shot that man in the head, I just picture him go, what the fuck?
Man, like, that was our only witness.
Like, what the fuck you do that for?
Girl.
So when he did that, he was like, oh, my hand slipped. My
right.
Like, your motherfucking finger did not slip.
Right.
We're going to keep you right here because you trying it. Like, they knew some fishy stuff was going on here.
Right. By this point, I just want to make a note of this. By this point, him and Wendy are like, they're in it to win it. They have told each other they loved each other. They are like, that we are going to be a thing. This is going to be us. And, it's us against the world. And so with them finding out more information, he ends up being out doing all his things. He goes back to the house. Wendy ain't there. He freaking out because he like, where the hell's Wendy? And he's like,
she wasn't even that far.
She wasn't that far. She was like outside at the lake or something like that.
Yeah, she was like
some random.
I wasn't running. So
Yeah, she's like, I just want to get some fresh air or whatever. He's like, oh, you can't just be doing that. She's like, okay, whatever. But then it ends up happening. She gets taken, but I can't remember how she gets taken.
he ended up taking her with him because she can't be trusted. That's what he said.
No, she gets taken by this other group of people. Tina ends up taking her. He gets back and he realizes she's not around, and he's like, crap, I gotta go find her. So he ends up going to find her, and then she's tied up somewhere, and then they get into this room, and it's Tina Bell, it's Peter. Oh, I remember now. She gets a message saying that she needs to go to the mansion to meet up with John to do something. And so she goes to the mansion, and it's only Tina that's there. And Tina do something to knock her out and take her to this other location. And then that's how all that gets going. So
Tina did not like her.
She didn't like her not one
y'all
bit.
It's not my money.
And you taking my man's attention.
Yes. I need all your daddy's money.
I need all your daddy's money.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, so he gets there. It's Wendy. Somebody got a gun to her head. It's Tina and Peter. It's me, and I think Moira was still alive at this point.
Yeah, Myra ended up telling him because after they brought Myra back in, they ended up figuring out that Myra said, "Oh, you think I'm working with Peter? No, Croc and Tina Bell is my people."
Right. And so they find all this out. He go there. He's like super pissed, but he's also not trying to do too much because they got Wendy. And he's like, I don't want nobody to hurt Wendy. I love that girl. Smee had another freaking pocket watch that was ticking, that was just taking Croc for a loop. And so
they get to the place, and that gun's ready, and they see Wendy knocked out because, like you said, they had already Tina had took Wendy.
Right.
So Hook tells him he was low for that. You low for even taking your own daughter, like that's crazy.
Right.
And he turns around hearing another voice, and it ended up being Smee.
Right.
Smee is Croc.
Right.
So Croc ended up saying, "Oh, I'm Croc's son. I'm your cousin. You just didn't ever know me. I grew up the whole time thinking my daddy was going to take me in, but he told me he couldn't take me in because you was here," which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Smee, all them years you had time to think about this and you didn't think about how dumb this sounds.
Right.
So he was like, as soon as I turned 18, I thought my daddy was going to take me in, and he died before that. So now I got a vendetta towards him.
Right.
So he ended up killing. I don't know how Wendy got loose. I don't even remember how Wendy got loose. She got loose.
Well, because Tina had done something, but she ended up having somehow. Wendy was very close to a gun. And so she ends up breaking free and shoots Tina in the head because she was like, "You're not about to hurt my man."
Oh.
Because somebody shot.
He was going to kill her.
Right.
He was right about to kill Wendy.
Yeah, whoever was behind Wendy, they got shot first. Wendy escaped, got the gun, and shot Tina. And then...
And that's and at the end of this, after all this is now what Peter is realizing now that Hook is who he is.
Right.
And then that was his business partner's son that he actually killed.
Right. And he didn't realize that he had because that whole story comes up. He didn't realize he had taken his business partner's, like he knew he took his business partner's life because, come to find out, his wife, Wendy's mom, was out messing around with his business partner and got pregnant. And that's where James come from. I mean, that's where John came from. That happened to be James's dad. So James and John were half brothers.
Yep. That's wild. Because in the story, not Peter, but James and Hook was kind of close.
James and Hook are the same person.
Oh, I'm sorry. John.
Yeah.
Was kind of getting closer. Then Wendy kind of found out that he was going to see him. He was checking on him. He was making sure he was good. But Hook did not know that was his brother. He just knew that he had a closeness to him.
Right. Because he could understand the feeling that John was going through. So he was like, let me Let me be here for this young man.
Uh-huh.
Only find out that's his brother.
Right.
Girl.
So after Peter was like there, he was like, it's his business. But Hook had already told her, I'm gonna have to kill your daddy. And she was like, no, don't kill my daddy. I know he this and I know he that, but don't kill. He was like, listen, I'm gonna have to kill your daddy. He kept telling her, I'm gonna have to kill him, girl. I'm sorry. So after he decided that he wasn't going to kill him because what she asked of him, Wendy ended up killing her damn daddy.
Anyway,
Because she was like, I mean, I don't know who you are anymore. You're not the father I thought you were.
no.
But since I don't know who you are, you ain't finna come before him. So you got to go. So she off Myra by shooting that hoe in the face, shot her dead in the face. Not Myra. Did she shoot Myra in the face?
No,
Moira
got shot. Moira's in another location. She got killed by somebody else. I don't remember who it was, but she got killed by somebody else. But Tina got shot by Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the face.
In the face. Right in the face. Right in the face. And then, so again, Wendy and Hook, they're like, they in love. They like, all right, everybody out the picture. Sorry, I was going to skip, but I don't know if I should skip. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We done.
Okay, so they flash forward. Everybody's out the picture, and it's just Wendy, Hook, and John, and they're living in that mansion because it exists. And they've had kids at this point. Like, they're living their little lives as happy as they want to be, and everything is great.
Oh, they named that little baby Rue.
Yeah, they named the baby Rue, which was cute. That was very cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. How did you?
I wrote at the end, it says her hating friend ended up with Curly. They live happily ever after. That's what I wrote at the end.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about. Oh, yeah, because she ended up hanging out with her friends again. And, like, they actually got cool for real. Curly was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. I love this. I know the twins, they don't have a name. They never were named.
They never mentioned them. They just say the twins.
They did more action than anybody. I love the spin on this book. I instantly read this and knew it was for you. This is your type of story. I did love the spin. It was good. I just stayed in the book the whole time. It didn't take me long to finish the story. So
yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
I really liked it. I agree with you. I like the spin on it. It's another reimagining that is very different. The last Hook series that we read was still very much, I mean, not Hook series, the last Peter Pan series that we read was still very much in the realm of them being in Neverland and just kind of that whole idea. So to see them kind of in the modern world, I thought was really dope, and having them interact the way that they did. I found it out that this author makes a lot of reimaginings of a bunch of stories. So she's got one for The Wizard of Oz. She's got one for Aladdin. There's a bunch of them. So if you are interested in them, they are on the website. I actually tried to download a couple of them because I wanted to read them. They have one from The Nightmare Before Christmas. There's like a bunch of different reimagining that she's written, and they are kind of, they're all written different. I forgot the titles are all different, but the same concept, just a reimagining with different scenarios. So, I like the story. I really thought it was good. It was a very quick read or listen, depending on how you consume your books, I guess is the right way to say it. But I really liked it. I liked it. It was good. It had the right amount of drama without being too much.
Right.
So I was irritated though, because I was like, nobody asked questions. Like they were just like, y'all could have easily been like, do you know, granted, she could have said, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he was still going to think she was lying until he could prove otherwise. So, but she was like really confused. Like he didn't even let her know what was going on. At the beginning,
she didn't want people to know who her daddy was.
Right.
They was very well off.
Right, they was.
She was relieved that he acted like he didn't know.
Right, right. Yeah.
But it was irritating.
It was irritating because I was like, if he would have just been like, I am holding you hostage because your daddy has ruined my life and this and this and this, she would have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because bitch, I would have been mad too. You held me against my will. I don't even know why I'm here.
And asked no questions. No
Yeah.
questions. She was just like, all right. I mean, I love this man or whatever. So like, if he wants to hold me captive, he wants to hold me captive. Like,
She was like, this is Stockholm
this is
syndrome.
so sexy. He cares about me. He cares about me. Yeah. Right. Like, you're gonna hold me hostage? Okay. What can I do for
Because she
you?
joked about it a little bit
Yeah,
too.
she
So
did.
yeah,
She's like, how am I freaking in love with my captor?
you're
She's like, I'm
right.
confiding in the man that literally had me sleeping on the floor. And it's like, yeah, girl, you are. You
Mm-hmm.
are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good story. I liked it. I want to read some of the other ones because they looked really good. They looked really good.
I'm
So,
gonna go and look myself.
yeah, girl, check them out. There's all types of stories on there. So,
Mhm.
all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We will be having more stories come out as we record them. And yeah, follow us on all of our social media. If you have any recommendations, we will add them to the list. You can hit us up on either, and you can hit us up on our any of our social media through DM, or you can just go to our links and go to the recommendations page, do the little recommendation fill out form, and we'll go from there. But yeah, thank you for tuning in for another episode.
Bye.
Bye.